Call this meeting to order. Mr. Crittenden, would you give us a word of prayer, please?
I didn't go well. Let us pray. Father, again, I want to thank you for this day of life, this opportunity to come together and do the people's work. Father, thank you for the recent rains. Thank you for the many blessings, traveling grace. Thank you for the audience we have, and the employees and the staff members and visitors. I ask, Father, that you bless our chair this morning, do good work for our people. And Father, help us to continue to provide services for the people. Forgive us where we fail you. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Roll call, please.
Chuck Hoskins.
Here.
Don Garvin. Bill Anglin.
Here.
Bill John Baker.
Here.
Jack Baker.
Here.
Audra Connor. Joe Crittenden.
Here.
Meredith Fraley. Here. Bill Johnson. Taylor Keene. John Keener.
Here.
Jackie Bob Martin. David Thornton. Carol Cowan Watts. Phyllis Sargent.
At this time, the chair will entertain a motion to approve the minutes of May 15th regular session. We have a motion. We have a second. Any questions, corrections? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. The minutes stand approved. Moving to reports, talking leaves. Ms. Kelly or Ms. Kelly Stead?
Obviously not Ms. Kelly. My name is Stephanie Isaacs. I'm the Manager of Administrative Operations for Career Services, and I have some
Welcome, Stephanie.
handouts. Thank you. I have one of those. I'll pass around. I have a few announcements, and then I'll touch on the handouts that you're getting. The Summer Youth Program is going strong. We're in our second week. We currently have about 325 youth on the program. However, we are still going through quite a few applications. As you know, it's a process. They have to provide certain documents and all that type of stuff. So we're estimating somewhere between 450 is what we're looking at for right now. However, we are still taking applications, so if you know of a youth that would be interested in this worthwhile program, we would love for them to come in and fill an application at one of our field sites. In conjunction with that, the Summer Youth Program, we also offer the basic skills, and as Mr. Roach indicated last month, the basic skills is for those individuals that are deficient in reading, math, and language skills. We're able to hire 3 additional teachers this summer on a temporary basis to help with the basic skill needs of our participants. And that also runs concurrently with the Summer Youth Program that will end.
Stephanie, in your summer youth, when you said there's still some openings, is that any particular area or just throughout the Cherokee Nation?
Throughout the 14 counties. We're not closing off any particular areas. No, sir.
Bill John?
Yes, and Emily, hate to interrupt you, but speaking of summer youth,
yes,
I would at this time like to introduce Emily Nodine, who is going to be working here for you all here in the council house this summer on the summer youth program, and she's from Tahlequah.
Welcome.
Thank you for the introduction. Very good. As far as, let's see, we also had our GED graduation a couple of weeks ago. It went very well. It was certainly, from my perspective, it's a wonderful thing to see those individuals as they came up front and they got their certificates. Some of them received special awards. A special thank you goes to Audra Smoke Connor. We had a problem with our last minute with our speaker. She stepped up, did a wonderful job, gave a wonderful message to the students, so we gratefully thank you for that. Talking Leaves Job Corps, they'll be out for their 2-week break starting June 27th. They'll be returning on the 16th of July. I have a couple of handouts that I've given you. One is we're offering again the daytime dental assistance class. You see there, it's here in Tahlequah, the times, the dates, eligibility requirements, and then on the back, it's always good to have this information, is our field offices. So, and this is of course updated information. So, and the last thing I've handed out just briefly is some information on the National Career Readiness Certificate. I have been here before to give you some information. It's part of the ACT Work Keys program. I know Diane mentioned some things last month. And we are now testing in our literacy centers. It's just another tool that we're using, an assessment that we're giving our participants It's a half-hour or a half-day test. It's 3 tests, and anyway, what it is, it gives them in the areas of reading for information, locating for information, which is charts and graphs and schematics, those type of things. And then in applied mathematics, they take the assessment, and at the end of that, it will tell them what skill levels they are at in those basic skills. Again, this is just another tool that we're using to help get our individuals employed. So if you have any more questions on this, I could certainly give you some more information. And that's really all that I have. Is there any questions?
Any questions for Stephanie?
I know you're not used to short.
Seeing none, thank you very much.
Thank
Good
you.
report. Executive Director, Dr. Neil Morton. Welcome.
Thank you very much. I have a very brief report for you this month. First of all, received a email from Shelley Butler Allen this morning at 9 o'clock. The Youth Leadership Institute is going great. They have been in Chattanooga past couple of days. This morning they're in Vonore, Tennessee. Be visiting the Van House, Red Clay, and New Echota. They have 45 students. No problems, no instances of anything except positive. They did, upon my suggestion and Shelley's full agreement, they have with them the director of the Marshal Service and 2 other marshals so that they have night and day coverage. Last year we had a little bit of incidents at some of the motels where there was noise and so forth. So I'm sure that that many marshals have a rather daunting influence on others that are around, as well as perhaps on our own. So had one student who became homesick, and his father picked him up in Nashville. The others are all happy and enjoying the trip and looking forward to coming home. We have several persons that are involved with other activities today, so I'll be making some reports for those when you call upon them. Major effort right now is to prepare for grade 2 immersion. We will open mid-August in the old casino building. We hope that it will be renovated and ready to go for the opening of school for grade 2. We're having an independent evaluation of the immersion program as well as the NSU preparation program. It's been in operation now. I have a few concerns about some of the areas that may be a little bit deficient, so we're asking for an independent review of that program. Not to say, hey, look, here's something's wrong with it, but to make some necessary improvements if it is deemed appropriate. This week on Thursday at 1 o'clock, from 1 to 5, we will have the second meeting of the Speakers Bureau, which is a gathering of employees who speak Cherokee, community members who speak Cherokee, in a session where they, in an informal fashion, discuss ways in which we might more appropriately direct our efforts in promoting the usage of the Cherokee language. The last meeting, the first meeting, was really uplifting. The only persons there, Councilman Baker and I had to leave, the only persons who stay in the room are those who can converse in the Cherokee language. And out of that, we got several suggestions and ideas. And when I got involved with the language program, it became evident to me that we had persons from universities giving us advice. We had linguists giving us advice, but we'd never bothered to go to the people who speak the language. And get advice.
Dr. Morton, I believe we have a question from one of those individuals. Philip?
All right.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm glad to hear you say that we need to go to those people, but that was going to be my suggestion. It's great that we are assembling in Tahlequah, that we do have good participation, but what I would like to see is that if we could go out in the communities, because some of our elders that still speak, although Tahlequah is not far for us and we have to come, they can't. So if we can go out, maybe some of those people who are involved with the Speakers Bureau can arrange to have meetings in the community and have those that, can't come to Tahlequah meet and have part in it. I think that would be...
I'm in full agreement with you. In fact, we will be requesting this week for persons that to say, hey, we'd like to host the next meeting at Greasy or the next meeting at wherever, and any costs associated with their hosting the meeting we will pick up. But it was so uplifting to go to the break. I went to the break when I came out to the break to people say, this is the first time anything like this has ever been done. It's been positive. It's been, from the feedback has been very positive, that they ask me. I'm a speaker, but they ask me.
Was it online? Could you view it online?
No, but we will make arrangements for that. We went into it. See, I had no idea what to expect, whether we were going to have 10 people, 15 people. We wound up with 120, not counting our immersion staff. So the next meeting will be in the gathering room, the old banquet room behind the restaurant. And also we're going to set up tables where people can write if they choose. Most of the cards on, each one was given a white card. Most of the cards came back written in the Sequoia syllabary. So but that was very positive. And I think we're going to find that the language is much more prevalent than our so-called experts have told us that it is. So with that, I'll have a comment or two after Nita makes a report on higher ed, and then for others that are absent, I'll make comments. I do have somewhere I gave you the report from Chattanooga paper about our group. Thought you'd be interested in that.
Vita? Sure. Is it Vita's turn? Yeah. All right. Welcome, Vita.
Good morning.
There's a couple of sheets there to give you some information on the status of the applications that we're receiving right now in higher ed. We had 543 that were sent back as incomplete. And I think most of those are because of the student aid report. Either not there or had issues with it that needed to be cleared up. You can see that the total of complete applications we have is 1,216. 102 of those are graduate, 638 are the Cherokee Nation Scholarship Program, and 476 are Pell. And our deadline is this Friday at 5 o'clock.
Anita, is that deadline, is that postmark or actually in your office?
Postmark.
Postmark. Thank you.
As long as they're postmarked.
Excuse me, Phyllis.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Nita, how many students do we have in the Cherokee degree program?
Which program?
Cherokee degree program that we pay
At NSU?
Yes.
I believe there are around 18 of them.
18. And they receive how much?
$120 a credit hour.
Thank you.
As the new interim manager, I haven't quite gotten into the details of every single program yet. I've been working on the nursing program, mostly trying to get that all straightened out. Determined that I had 12 students in May, and we had some at Carl Albert and 10 at Connors. And the ones at Carl Albert, those 2 graduated. I had one that graduated from Connors, which left 9. And then we've added 2 students that started at Rogers this summer, at Rogers State. And I've sent out about 7 other applications. I haven't received any other applications back yet. Put a deadline of July the 11th on applications, so that from talking to the colleges, I need to get a list of student names to them by August 6th, so that they can go in and pick up their books and we can be invoiced. Do you have any questions?
Nita, how does the number 1216 compare to last year?
To the total that we had complete last year?
We think it's a little bit lower than, but usually our big comes in these last couple of days, and then the couple of days after the deadline through the mail. Our biggest bulk is we get them by the mailbox.
Okay. Anything else, Nita? Any questions? Ms. Wilson? No? Thank you very much.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to follow up with 2 items on higher ed, just for you to think about. The first one is, by raising the Pell Grant to $1,000, the best that we can figure, we'll be able to cover fall semester of this year, spring semester of next year. We don't know how many to drop out. But for new apps that will come in 1 year from now, in June, for the 08-09 school year, we think that we will have depleted enough funds with this 1,000 additional above the 575 that you approved last evening, that it may be necessary at this time next year to appropriate more funds.
Dr. Morton, that's an issue that you may well want to bring up during this next budget cycle, so preparation for at least 08.
Right.
I apologize.
Yeah. Now, there is one other matter. A situation that, again, for you just to think about for later. Occasionally, I think in checking back, some can remember that there have been 2 or 3 in the last 5 or 6 years. Students who have received appointment to one of the service academies. And we have one this year that received appointment to the Coast Guard Academy. They are not eligible for federal grant funds if they receive an appointment to one of the service academies, because everything is paid except for their initial fee. There is a one-time initial fee. For instance, the Air Force Academy does not charge a fee. The student goes to the academy and everything is covered. The Coast Guard, and we have a Coast Guard Academy appointee who has applied for assistance, and we were able to help him with $500. But the fee for Coast Guard admission is $3,000 up front. For the Military Academy for West Point, it's $2,900. And for the Naval Academy, it's $2,500. So you can see a great honor that might come to a student whose parents may not have the $3,000 readily accessible, could be a real problem. It would be a very rare situation, I would think. But it's something you might want to think about for. You not only honor those students, but it would help mom and daddy with that initial shock of, oh boy, our kid got appointed to Coast Guard, but I've got to have $3,000 to to get him out there, to get him in.
Mr. Baker, just before you have the floor, Dr. Morton, we also have a travel member from Bonita who's going to the Air Force Academy.
Okay.
So it's not going to cost us anything there. But
Right.
Mr. Baker.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, at this time, I would like to make a motion to fund all Cherokees that get appointments to the military academies, their initial funding. I'd like to make a motion that we do that and move it to Executive Finance to put a pool of money in there to cover such as that.
Second.
We have a motion, and we have a second. Any questions, discussion? And you'll get back with us on those totals again, so we'll know. Okay. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion stands approved. Okay. And I'll let you know who that student is, too. Dr. Morton, before you sit down, I'm sorry, you're almost there. There's a couple of things that I would like for us to do our best in trying to contact and encourage and keep students in the OLEP program in the state of Oklahoma. I think that we have a large financial investment in all of our schools within the jurisdiction through our car tags, through our scholarships and all of that. And I think we would be doing ourselves a disservice if we didn't work with the schools in maintaining at least a list of individuals who are involved in OLAP and following up with them, and hopefully that will save us some dollars in the long run.
Very much.
And also encourage more children to continue their education. So I'd be certainly open to any ideas you might have in trying to connect with the schools regarding specifically the OLAP program.
Well, we plan to cover that issue as well as others with a more direct working relationship with the public schools.
Good.
You know, this year we made the whirlwind swing to get acquainted and to get contact names, because our efforts in the past have been to send the information to superintendent's offices and so forth, and, well, as Chairman Hoskin and I both know from having been there, that's not necessarily the best place to get information out. It needs to go to a person, Director of Indian Education or to the counseling office, whoever's handling those scholarship type applications. So we hope to have, or we will have, workshops with those individuals at their schools. Our first effort will be to make arrangements with the area VOTEC schools as host sites and bring schools in those districts in. That way we'll cover all the schools. None of them have to travel all the way to Tahlequah from Miami, for instance. They'll just go to their area VOTEC and we'll meet with them there and continue our on-site school visits, though, because I think that every effort that we expend in that area will pay dividends to us, not only in the scholarship program, but in collaborative federal programs and so forth. Okay.
Also, one last thing, Dr. Morton. The state of Oklahoma legislature this year passed locking in the tuition for 4 years at the state universities. I would like to see us enclose a letter explaining that with whoever our scholarship recipients are this year, hopefully to share with their families the possibility of them doing that to cut down on the cost during the 4-year cycle that they're in school. Unfortunately, it's taking most kids 5 years now, but 4 years cycle. If you need me, I can get the information for you. It's available online, but that's something I think we need to enclose, and hopefully that will help some families also lock in that lock in that tuition. Any other questions, comments?
It's done.
Thank you, Dr. Ged. Are you going to do Verna's report, or
Yes.
just going to?
Verna calls. She's involved with some staff meetings this morning. I visited with Verna yesterday afternoon and reviewed her program. It's running smoothly. She has some plans for fall. We don't have at this time any expansion plans. But remember, this year we did pick up some additional schools, so No problems, just business as usual with Head Start.
Dr. Shelley Butler Allen, who's
Made hers.
Okay. Only one left. Jeannie Stanley, are you?
I'm Sequoia.
Okay. Any questions for Sequoia?
I'm Sequoia today.
Well, I don't see any questions.
We will be conducting interviews in the near future for principal position. Drew Dixon resigned his position as principal, so we will be seeking a new principal to take his place.
Baker.
Did we have problems with the gym floor?
With the any recent problems with the gym floor?
Somebody said they were taking up part of the gym floor or something.
Had a slight problem with some moisture in the gym floor. I think it has been taken care of, and I think that's the latest problem, and I think it's out of the way.
Okay.
Phyllis, you have a question?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Dr. Morton, what about the art project for the gym?
I signed the contract on it with Mr. Horseshoe, and he has finished the casting, and it has been accepted, so we're finally online with that one. Yeah, finally online with that one.
Now, will there be additional art inside of the gym
Yes.
as well? Thank
But the
you.
Horseshoe project is it's going to be beautiful. The stick ball is going to be fantastic. That's been a long time coming because of different issues, but I think those are all out of the way now.
And I just have a comment. I just wanted to thank you. I read in the minutes here, since I wasn't at last month's meeting, about how you're quoted as saying that anything that we can do to keep students from borrowing money on student loans is a service. And I really am glad to see that attitude, because I think the previous administration was just... Well,
And
the
it's
previous...
so readily available.
Yeah.
I have a grandson, student at the University of Arkansas, and his mail still comes to my house. And every day, either it's the federal loan program or zero interest credit cards, and students are coming out owing more money than we ever dreamed we would make when we graduated.
Dr. Morton, we had a bill in the legislature this year about restricting access to credit card applications on campuses. But it was amazing how much money was poured into lobbyists to come up and oppose that particular bill.
That's right.
I bet you could probably take a wild guess and guess where those dollars come from.
Yes.
But anyway, it is a problem, and I do appreciate, just like Phyllis, your comments, and hopefully we'll keep doing those kind of things.
See, that's one thing that we haven't planned for. We're revamping higher ed in our office. Nita is doing some work in higher ed. Mandy Scott, new employee with a master's degree in organizational management, is going to be working in that office too. And we're going to change from a distribution office to a counseling then distribution office, because there is so little counseling going on that even the high schools now, the main objective is to get students matched up with dollars, not necessarily getting students matched up with careers. So I think you're going to see some fewer dropouts. That's what we're after.
Dr. Morton, hopefully this will be the last thing. This is a side issue you may or may not know about. Do you know the current condition of President Williams at NSU? Have you heard anything?
Yes, I hear conflicting stories. One, that he's going to be back any day, and the other, that quite a bit of therapy still to go. And that has hampered our working relationship with Northeastern to some extent, especially as it relates to the immersion program, language program, because there's really not anyone there to call us.
And President Williams has been a very good friend to us and our students and, over the years, and I certainly hate it. Those are the kind of reports I get also. So, Mr. Baker, do you?
Yes, I'd like to make a motion for this committee to request the chairman to send a letter or a card or something, a get well and a thank you to President Williams.
Have a motion? Second. Questions, comments? Hearing none. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Morton, and all the people you represent. And tell them we certainly look forward to seeing them next month. Thank you. Old business, seeing none. New business, none. Announcements. This meeting date is tentatively scheduled for Tuesday, July 17th at 11 a.m. instead of p.m. I don't believe it's going to be p.m. I hope it's not. Chair will entertain a motion to adjourn. So moved. Motion and second. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Stand adjourned.
30 minutes for that.